Hi friends, this is our Geometry Math Lesson 10 for today. All right, before we go into the problem set, let's take a quick look at the sheet that I gave you. Okay, this is just to help us remember what our parts look like when we have partitioned, okay, or divided into pieces. So this is halves. When there's two parts, remember we call them halves. One half, one half. When it's three parts, we call it thirds. When it's four parts, we call it fourths. Very good. And now sometimes we have thirds that are not in a rectangle. They can be in a rectangle or they can be in a circle. So three parts is thirds. Okay. Same thing down here. Sometimes our fourths are not in a big square or rectangle. They're also in a circle. 4 equal parts is fourths. Okay. The problem set wants you today to answer some of these questions and then do your own partition. So do the shapes in problem 1A show halves or thirds. So halves, I might have to go back to my sheet. What are halves? Oh, half. That's when there's two parts. So half, 2 parts, thirds, 3 parts. Are these halves or thirds? Good. They are halves. Each shape is divided or partitioned into 2 equal parts. Now draw one more line to partition each of these shapes into fourths. Okay. Now we've already done it into halves. We want to get 4. So we would draw a line to make them 4 equal parts. 4. Okay. Now this looks a little different than what we've seen. But look, 1, 2, 3 fourths. Very good. Okay. And that, my friends, can be found over here. If you're not sure what fourths are going to look like or how to partition, go back to those sheets that we included. Okay. Now down here, it wants you to partition each rectangle into what it says, 3 different thirds, 2 thirds, or 1. Let me back up. It wants you to partition the rectangles into thirds. So let's start there. So this one is to 3 thirds. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now it wants you to shade how many of those thirds? All 3. 1, 2, 3. Now it wants thirds. All of them go thirds. Okay, so let's do that. It wants us to do all of these into thirds. This down here tells you how many to shade. How many thirds am I going to shade? Well, I have 1, 2, 3 thirds all together, but I'm only shading 1, 2. And over here I have 3 parts all together, but I'm only shading 1 third. Okay? And friends, you're going to go on and you're going to do exactly what it's done here. It wants you to partition into fourths, and then come down here and then shade how many pieces or parts it tells you. Okay? So go ahead and use this sheet to help you partition. Okay? And then go ahead and finish this sheet and the back side if you have it, and it will tell you what to do, how to partition it, and then if you need to shade any, it will tell you whether or not to shade. Okay? Go ahead and do your best, friends. I know you can do this.